Jemmy, hi. Thank you for joining me for your March 2018 Astro Tarot forecast. I am shuffling a new deck again. It's the Mythical Goddess Tarot by Sage Holloway and Catherine Skaggs. This is what the back looks like. It's super pretty. And let's get to the forecast. There's so much happening, and it's very similar to January in that we start the month on the 1st with a full moon, and we end the month with a full moon on the 31st, giving us our blue moon, our second full moon of the month again, just like January, on the same dates. So there's a little bit of symbolic energy happening here. On the 1st, our full moon is at 11 degrees of Virgo. And this brings a culmination and an awareness in the 4th house of home and comfort and your environment. Something needs to be seen here for Gemini, or you're finishing a project in the home, closing the door on something that you've completed. And this could be a move. It could be that you are finally settled from a new area or experience in moving. On the 6th, both Mercury and Venus enter Aries. So there's a double transit. There's a lot of double transits this month. Mercury has 15 days in your 11th house of Aries before he retrogrades on the 22nd through April 15th. And he retrogrades at the 16-degree mark of Aries back through 4 degrees. So you are reviewing your friendships, your social connections, and who you are affiliated with, who you are attaching your name to. When Venus is here, this is beautiful for the connections with female friends and the clubs and groups that you're connected to are harmonious and smooth, effortless at this time. On the 8th, Jupiter retrogrades. So it's that kind of month. We have retrogrades happening. Jupiter's in Scorpio in your 6th house of health and well-being and work and daily chores, the hours of your day, your daily structure, your regimen. And he retrogrades at 23 degrees of Scorpio. And this is a longer retrograde. It's not like a Mercury retrograde. He doesn't go direct until July 10th, and that's at 13 degrees of Scorpio. So there's a perfect time for you to use the abundance of Jupiter, which is always abundant, regardless of whether he's retrograde or direct, to help you in the 6th house feel better, to release old health problems, health issues. Get on top of your health while Jupiter's here. It's a little bit of a weight gain time, not when he retrogrades necessarily, but in general, since he's in this sector, when Jupiter's in the 1st and the 6th house, you can put on some pounds. So you have to stay on top of your physical activity. It always comes off, drops off when they leave that 1st or 6th house, but he's there through mid-October, so you just want to remain active so you can kind of counteract any expansion that he's planning on doing for the 6th house in terms of your body. On the 17th, St. Patrick's Day, we have our new moon, 26 degrees of Pisces. And this is a fresh start in the career sector. This new moon is working with Mars, and Mars makes a transit that day into Capricorn. So he is stimulating the 8th house and your shared resources sector for quite a while, for 2 months or so, and through May 16th. And your 8th and 10th house are working together. Mars forms a sextile to the moon, and this is a harmonious 60-degree positioning away from each other. And you could see some payouts from your career in the 10th house and the 8th house of who is investing in you, your shared resources, your bank statements, your credit card debt is being managed. You want to stay active in making payments, and also Mars in the 8th house is a very sexual positioning, very physically feisty. 8th house is the house of intimacy and sex, in addition to shared resources and investments. So Mars, the planet of sex and feistiness and physical expression, in addition to Pluto being the planet of sex, but Mars is physical, feisty, sexual energy. This could really work for you. You know, you could be expressing desire and needs with intimate partners or in your relationship. But if you're single, you could be meeting somebody. And I like this for connection for Gemini. Just 3 days later, it's springtime. The sun is in Aries. So it's our vernal equinox and the cardinal ingress, conjunct Mercury and Venus, the sun. It's all about social activity and who you're hanging out with, Gemmy. Who's representing Gemini? And what do you want your name attached to? You have to discern things here, because 2 days after the sun enters this sector, Mercury will retrograde here, and that's when you are assessing your relationships and what your name is connected to and who's connected to you. And what clubs you're latching onto, what groups you're truly identifying with. Mercury retrograde, March 22nd through April 15th. Gemini, this is your ruling planet, and it's not a great time for you to handle the taxes anywhere at all near this retrograde. So considering that it lasts through the official ending of when you can do your taxes, the 15th, I feel like you need to prepare the first 3 weeks of March without exception. I feel like if you're handling your taxes and the details of your money, when Mercury, the planet of details and analysis, retrogrades, you're looking for a do-over and you're looking for some mistakes, glitches. They didn't get your payment on time. Something needs to be redone. You could even be audited, and you don't want that. You don't want anything to do with that. So handle your taxes and meet your attorney so your mind is straightforward and direct, because Mercury governs that intellect, the mind, the decision-making. Handle it before the 22nd. On the 31st is our full blue moon, our second full moon of the month at 10 degrees of Libra. This works for Gemmy. This is a sister-brother air sign in the 5th house of creativity and true love and romance. So there's an awareness, something shining here for Gemmy on the last day. You could be closing the door on a dating situation, something lighthearted. You could also be putting an end to a creative idea or a creative endeavor. Some of you are giving birth, because the full moon is closure in the 5th house of pregnancy and children. So you could see this little baby come out on the full moon. What a cool birthday to have if you were born on a blue moon. I'd like to get to the cards because I'm anxious, as always, to see what comes up for you. I want to tell you that your VIMEO on-demand medium messages for March are already up and available. The links are below, and as well for my tarot course if you're interested in taking that. And I want to tell you again about a special I'm having. Well, again, for some of you, my clients last month were offered a special. Just my clients who I have read for are also receiving my monthly newsletter. I have a special that I'm running this month now for everyone, though. And it is a spring special from March 1st through March 19th. If you purchase a 60-minute Astro Tarot reading, actually, if you want to book that size of a reading, you can do so by only paying for the 45-minute reading. So basically, a $160 60-minute Astro Tarot reading would cost you $125. And my prices are increasing on the first day of spring, which is why I'm doing this. On March 20th, I'll increase my rates just slightly to cover some new fees that I've experienced as a business owner. Not dramatic increase, but I'm offering the special prior just to give people a little bit of a break, and I thought it might be fun. So just putting that out there for you. It would only be 45 minutes charge for a 60-minute reading. Okay, Gemmy, your first card for the month. Ooh, this is you. Love it. This is the Maiden of Wind, which is the Knight of Swords. The Wind is the Swords cards, and the Maiden is the Knight. Clarity. Yes, you need that, especially when your ruling planet is retrograde. This is also quick, rushed communication and decision-making. So Gemini might have a decision coming up. Let's see what else is here for you. The Child of Earth, which is the Page of Coins. And this is a message. This could either be an earth sign person, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or it's just the symbolism, the symbolic of the message itself. It could be about your health, and it could be about your wealth, work, a message. This could be coming in quickly. It could be that you have new money and a new position ahead of you, and it's coming in very quickly in the month of March. She's been here a lot throughout the readings. Yemaya, this is the Hermit, the sign of Virgo, the Oracle card. Retreat, enlightenment, spiritual healing, meditation, relaxing, calmly stepping back and out of situations in order for them to improve. Sometimes things won't get better unless you remove yourself from the energy and allow for change. Step outside of something in order for it to move forward is what I'm getting. Two of Cups, Two of Seas. This is definitely 7th house, 5th house, love, soulmates, attraction, connection, intimacy, the 8th house, the 7th house, the 5th house. I feel like Gemini is, if you're in relationship, you could be weighing it. You could be stepping out of it just to see what it looks like without you participating in it. So some of you might be considering being on your own, is what I'm getting. Your final card. Can I lift this? Oh. 8 of Seas. 8 of Cups. Turning your back on something. Depletion. Oh. It's walking away from an emotional situation. And in a sense, that's kind of what this Hermit energy is. Peacefully, calmly, stepping away from the vehicle. You don't need to participate in that. I'm also hearing that you don't need to participate in other people's agendas. Okay. So maybe there's another younger air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or earth sign, if this isn't a message regarding your work coming through. Maybe you need to retreat out of a situation from either of those people and quietly. You don't need to make announcements about it. Actions speak louder than words, and that's a phrase that doesn't get enough credit, but it's probably the strongest thing you can do is not speak. And silence is golden. I'm getting all these cliches, but it's true. Gemini, you're so used to speaking, but when the ruling planet goes retrograde, maybe it's time to zip-a-tay. It's time to zip it up and not say what you're doing, just do it. Gemini is great at making announcements and, maybe posting. Maybe this is a social media thing. Posting about what's going on. And that's great because you're on top of your game. But not everything needs to be mentioned, especially when it comes to the 2 of Cups and relationship and intimate, private experiences. Your emotional experiences is what I'm getting. The Cup cards. So maybe Gemini needs to come up and out of that situation before saying anything about it, and just do. Implement the direction and take action as opposed to communicating so much. All right, Gemini, I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you for subscribing to this channel, for liking and sharing, and for donating to me. I appreciate you so much. I love you, and I'm wishing you a beautiful March. Remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.